Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to learn something about templates. So if you recall from the previous lectures, as you could see, we have created a directory structure for our websites in which we had something which is called as templates. So we will learn why we exactly did that and how templates can be used in order to make Flask websites. So if you recall from the previous lectures, we actually had this route function which actually associates a particular URL with a particular function. Now whenever you actually want to redirect a user to the home page, what you do is that you simply type in app.route and you simply give a single slash like this. So this basically redirects your user to a particular web page, and in order to display that web page we simply had a function. So let's type in def index. So this was your function right here, and this function used to return some value. So in the first lecture what we did is that we typed in return, and to this return we have passed in some text like hello world. But the thing is that you could also pass in an entire HTML page to this return function right here. So what you could do is that you could also include some HTML code in here. So if you wanted to include a heading by typing h1 or h1 tags, you could also do that. And let's say we say that this is the heading. So once you do that and once you save the code, go back here, restart your server, and if you return back to the local host, as you could see, it says that this is a heading. So this thing is actually fine as long as you only have one line of code on your HTML page, but when you're actually designing web pages, this is not going to be the actual case. So in reality, you will have a lot of HTML code on a single page, and it won't look good if you actually go ahead and paste the entire HTML code over here. So in order to solve this problem, what we do is that we use something which is called as template. So Flask actually comes with the Jinja 2 template engine, which is basically a template engine which allows us to create a template, store it in a different file, and it basically allows us to use that template in our Python code. So what we will do in this case is that instead of including the HTML in this file right here, what we will do is that we will create a different HTML page. We will have something, or we will include some HTML in that particular page, and we are going to call, or we are going to render that template over here. So in order to get a proper understanding of what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and directly jump into the lecture. So the first thing which we do is that we create a brand new HTML file and we name it as something. So let's say we name it as hello.html. So the first thing which you need to do is that you actually need to go to the templates folder, which is this thing right here, and here you need to create an HTML file. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this login.html and I'm going to paste it over here in order to save time, and let's name this thing as hello.html. So let's go ahead and edit this thing up with Sublime, and here instead of having this form which we had created in the previous lecture, let's go ahead and delete that, and let's say it has a heading which says this is a template. So let's type in this is a template. Okay, so once you have this file, you simply need to save this thing up, and you need to go back to the app.py, and instead of using this return thing, what you can do is that you could delete that, and instead of passing this HTML, what you could do is that you could return something which is called as the render template. So render template is a function to which you could basically pass in a template, and that template is going to be rendered for you. That is nothing but that template is going to be produced for you. So you simply need to type in render underscore template, and to this you need to pass in the HTML file name. So the HTML file name is hello.html, which is our template. And once you do that, one more thing which you need to do is that you actually need to import a render template. So right now at the moment we don't need redirect, URL or request, so let's delete them. So let's remove them and let's import the render template function. So I'm going to simply copy this and paste it over here. So once you are done with this, you're pretty much good to go. Now let's save the code, go back to the terminal, let's restart the server, let's get back to the web browser, and here let's type in localhost colon 5000. So as you could see, now as we type in the localhost address, and you could actually type in http :/127.0.0.1, which is also the same thing. So if you type this address, as you could see, it says that this is a template. Now even if we actually open this Python code, and if we see that there is no such thing written as this is a template, but what happens in this case is that this thing right here, which is the render template function, looks for hello.html file in the templates folder. And that is actually the significance of creating the templates folder, that when you actually go ahead and create a templates folder, this function is actually going to look for files in that particular folder. So you actually need to specify the name of that particular file in which your actual HTML template resides. So in hello.html, which is this file, we have the HTML code, and you could have a lot more code, but just for the sake of an example, I have taken a simple example of having a simple heading over there. So in this HTML file, you could have your design ready, and what you just need to do is that you need to call in the render template function, and you just need to pass in the HTML file name, and that is automatically going to render the HTML template on the web browser for you. So that's how you could use templates in Flask to basically separate the Python code from the HTML code, and it actually makes things much more easier to manage because now you have your backend different from the front end. So that's it for this lecture, and I hope you guys were able to understand what templates are and how they could be used. So in the next lecture, we are going to learn a few more things about templates. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.